The goal here is that you'll notice that I'm strumming when I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll notice that I'm accenting on beats 2 and 4. So I'm following the drums, the kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare. So I'm kind of accenting on 2 and 4 to give it more of a rhythmic flow instead of just going and getting lost in the shuffle. If I do you can hear that dynamic a little bit more, and it kind of keeps you on pace of knowing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that sort of thing, which helps out enormously, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to play another 12-bar blues, but this time we're going to be in the key of A, and we're going to use a swing rhythm, okay? So I'm going to let you listen to it a little bit. Now this one, on the turnaround in the last 4 measures, this shows you an example of playing 5, 4, 1, 5. So instead of staying on the 1 for 2 measures, you're actually going to go to the 5. So let me pull this one up and let's listen to this one. Here we go. In the key of A now. Okay? So the first thing you're going to notice is you hear that dun da dun da dun da dun da dun da dun da dun with the 12-bar sequence, okay? With the 5 chord being the very last chord this time. So because it's a little bit fast, again, we're going to start off by strumming down and up. We're just going to play straight major chords for now. We're going to go back and control or explore these a little bit more with seventh chords and all kinds of things. So let's just play A, D, and E. Okay, so A is our 1 chord, D is our 4 chord, and E is our 5 chord. And the change here is that, well, there's 2 changes actually. There's the swing rhythm that we discussed earlier. And then the last chord, the very last chord, is going to be a 5 chord, not a 1 chord. So that turnaround is going to end on a 5 or an E chord, okay? So let's give this a try. Strumming the A, the D, the E, and again, you can use your booklet. Here we go. Comes that 5 chord, E, D, A. Now we're going to go to the E, A. Here comes the 4 chord, back to the 1. Here comes the 5, 4, back to the 1, and turn around to the 5. A. Keep that shot or that swing moving. Back to the 4. 1. 5. 4. Back to the 1. E. Now, as I'm playing this, I can still 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. See how I'm accentuating again the 2 and the 4? Just makes it kind of fun. And again, for a listener, it gives them a little more idea of where they're at. And as a musician, it gives me a little more idea of where I'm at as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, back to A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. To E, 1, 2, back to the D, back to the A, then the 5. And just for fun, I'm just kind of bashing on that E chord, that 5 chord to turn things back around, okay? Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take these 2 sequences again, and this time what we're going to do is we're going to play them, but we're going to substitute 7th chords over the top of them. So we're going to go back to the first track again, which was G, C, and D. And remember, that one, the turnaround ended with just a 1, not a 5, just a 1. So we're going to play a G7 chord, which we discussed, a C7 chord, and a D7 chord. Now what you're going to notice about those chords is now all of a sudden when we add that 7th sound in, it begins to sound a bit more bluesy, and that's exactly what we're looking for. So could you play major chords over the top of this? Of course you could. But if you can play the 7th chords, it's going to give you more of that blues sound. So we're playing G7, C7, and D7. Now, if you don't know your 7th chords, you can trail back to one of the earlier segments, and you can learn these because they're in there. If you happen to skip over that and just moved over to this, go ahead and go back and take a look at those because they really do sound awesome. So now we're going to go ahead and play through over the G chord here. 12-bar blues in the key of G. Remember, our last chord is not a 5 chord, it's a 1 chord, which is G7. So here we go. Straight rhythm now. C7, back to G7, D7, C7, G7. I'm gonna be quiet, you play. So a little bit more difficult using the seventh chords, okay? So it's important that we learn those. Now, what I want you to notice what I was doing that time was I started kind of varying the accents of my strumming, just to try and make it more fun, okay? So I don't always have to go... It sounds really neat like that, but I don't have to do that the whole time. So now maybe what I'm doing is I got this down-up strumming going, and maybe I'm going to start accentuating different things like this. So remember, the key with accenting is really what you have is the ability to hit and miss different things. When I hit a lot of up strums and I keep my down strums out, it tends to add a really cool, funky dynamic to it. When I add the downs every time, it just sounds a little more traditional, a little more folky or country style, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that. But if I add those ups, see how I'm missing the down strums? Those tend to make it sound a little more groove-oriented, which is kind of fun. Then the second element I've got is my ability to hit soft and loud, okay? As I continue trying to do this, I'm trying to find different places where to hit harder or softer, or I might hit less strings or more strings, or just always looking for some way to sort of varietize the rhythms that I'm giving you to make it more interesting, again, for you to listen to and more interesting for me to play. I'm always trying to think about those two things. How can I make it more interesting to a listener? And how can I make it more interesting for myself? Because if I'm just doing the same thing over and over and over, I'm probably going to get bored. Okay? And with 12-bar blues, I mean, you really are doing the same chords over and over and over, but we're slowly learning that we can varietize the styles of chords that we're playing. And then we are now learning, of course, that we can varietize the rhythms that we're doing. So I'm going to do this again. I want you to watch me a little bit as I move my wrist back and forth. And I hit and miss various different things. And again, strum harder or softer in different places.